In the heart of a bustling city, where glass towers touched the sky and the streets never slept, lived a young man named Arman. He wasn't rich, but he was content. He worked in a small architecture firm by day and painted canvases by night. His world revolved around two things: his mother, who had sacrificed everything for him, and Nyla, the woman he loved more than life itself. Nyla was everything Arman had ever dreamed of, gentle in her words, fierce in her ambitions, and beautiful in a way that wasn't just skin-deep. She was a lawyer, sharp and intelligent, with dreams of standing in courtrooms and fighting for justice. Together, they believed they were unstoppable. Together, they painted visions of a future filled with marriage, children, and quiet evenings spent watching the sunset. But love, Arman would soon learn, was fragile. Trust, even more so. The betrayal. Arman's boss, Fahim Rahman, was a man everyone respected. Rich, charming, and influential, Fahim was known for his generosity and power. But behind the expensive suits and kind smiles, he was something darker. He had an obsession with taking what belonged to others. One evening, as Arman left work early to surprise Nyla, he saw something that shattered his world. Through the cafe window where they had once spent countless evenings together, Arman saw Nyla sitting across from Fahim. Their hands touched. Their smiles weren't professional, they were intimate. At first, Arman told himself it was nothing. Maybe it was a client meeting. Maybe he was imagining things. But over the weeks, the truth revealed itself like a knife to the chest. Nyla was slipping away. Her late-night excuses, her distracted voice, the coldness in her eyes, it was all pointing to one painful reality. She was betraying him. And worse, she was betraying him with Fahim. The collapse. When the truth became undeniable, Arman confronted Nyla. "Tell me it's not true," he whispered, his voice trembling. Nyla looked away. Silence filled the room like poison. Finally, she said it. "Arman, you're a good man, but I need more. Fahim can give me a life you can't. Security, power, everything I've worked for. I'm sorry. Sorry." A single word that destroyed years of love. Arman's mother died weeks later, her health collapsing under the weight of seeing her son broken. At her funeral, Arman stood alone. Nyla didn't come. Fahim didn't send flowers. The world moved on, leaving him buried in grief. For nights, Arman sat in his empty apartment staring at his unfinished paintings. The colors seemed meaningless. His hands, once steady with dreams, trembled with rage. He had lost his love, his mother, and his peace. That night, something inside Arman died. And something darker was born. The transformation. Revenge became his purpose. Arman disappeared from his old life. He quit his job. He stopped answering calls. Friends thought he had gone mad. But in reality, he was building something. He started small, learning about Fahim's world. Business records, financial dealings, personal habits. The more Arman dug, the more filth he uncovered. Fahim's wealth wasn't earned cleanly. There were shady deals, bribes, even rumors of destroyed rivals. Arman began to train himself. He worked out until his body hardened with muscle. He studied law, psychology, even hacking, anything that could give him an edge. Nights were spent planning, mornings were spent preparing. His anger was no longer wild, it was sharpened into a weapon. He wasn't Arman anymore. He was the shadow of every pain he had suffered. The game begins. 2 years later, Fahim and Nyla were married. They lived in a mansion on the city's edge, celebrated by society as a power couple. To the world, they had everything. But Arman knew the cracks. He knew their secrets. It started with whispers. Anonymous emails to Fahim's business partners exposing half-truths. Financial leaks to the media. Small embarrassments that made Fahim furious but never pointed to a culprit. Then came the psychological war. Nyla began receiving flowers at her office with notes. "Do you remember the promises you broke?" Fahim started losing deals as investors pulled out at the last minute. His empire shook, slowly but surely. Every step, Arman was watching. Every sleepless night they suffered was his satisfaction. The confrontation. One stormy night, Fahim received a message. "Meet me where it all began." Alone. It was the cafe, the same one where Arman had first seen them together. Fahim arrived, anger burning in his veins. Arman was waiting. His once gentle eyes were now cold steel. "Arman," Fahim sneered. "So it was you. You took everything from me," Arman said, his voice calm but heavy with years of pain. "My mother, my love, my life. Tonight, I take it back." Fahim laughed. "You think you can destroy me? I own this city." Arman leaned closer. "Not anymore. Check tomorrow's headlines." That night, the police raided Fahim's offices. Years of corruption, embezzlement, and crimes came pouring into the light, courtesy of Arman's meticulous gathering. Fahim was dragged through the mud, his empire collapsing. And Naila? She watched as the man she betrayed her love for was reduced to nothing. She tried to reach out to Arman, tears in her eyes. "Arman, I made a mistake. Please." Arman looked at her, a shadow of the boy who once dreamed of sunsets with her. "Mistakes can be forgiven. Betrayal cannot." He walked away, leaving her with the ruins of the life she chose. The aftermath. Fahim spent the rest of his life behind bars. Naila lived in disgrace, abandoned by the society she had once craved. And Arman? He disappeared once again. Some say he left the city to start a new life. Others whisper he became a ghost, haunting those who build their empires on betrayal. But one truth remained. Revenge hadn't healed him. It hadn't brought back his mother or restored his lost love. But it gave him justice. And sometimes, justice is the only way a broken soul can breathe again.